Hello, how's it hanging? So I'm out in a workshop. A little bit bright out here actually. Quite a few lights going on. Anyway, look, I'm going through bits and pieces, getting ready to put something together, some sort of build. Let me do this vice up, it's getting in the way. And you know what, I was digging through my bits and pieces of Damascus steel. I sort of thought I'd show you some. So there's one length. I don't doubt you can see that. See the light reflecting off it. I'll turn it over. It's what they call raindrop Damascus, that one. Here's another bit there. It's a bit grubby, that bit. There we go. Look, just so you know, it's not the same bit. Right, let's get it in the light. There we go. Those two. There's another piece there. So as you can see where I've cut bits off for side plates. Always a little scrap bit there. I'll probably use that for something. I did actually I made some key rings and little things about the size of armature bars and put a hole in them. And so what I did was, if say you had a like a frame with a side plate made from that, I actually made a key ring to match it, so that you had the tattoo machine with a matching key ring. So the key ring was made from the exact same bit of Damascus steel as the machine. There you go. So here's a different design of Damascus. So this one, let's see if we can get that in a good bit of light. There we go. You can see again here where I've cut pieces off for side plates. That's that. There's another nice bit there. Again, you see some cuts in that where I was working stuff out of it. And let me see, there's a nice piece here. That's a really nice bit. Look at that. Flip it over. A bit rusty on the other side, but all that just wipes off, to be honest with you. A little bit of WD. And I wanted to show you one more bit, which, I mean, this raindrop is crazy. Look at that. Oh wow, look at that. But a lot of people think, oh no, it's just a print or something like that. No. This is layer upon layer of steel. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see the layers on this edge here. Can you, let me see if I can get it up. No, I don't think it's going to show because of the light, but you can't even count them as that many. I think somebody said there was a couple of hundred layers in there or whatever. But this piece, I made a couple of machines out of this bit, but this was a really nice bit of steel. It was raindrop pattern, but it had these sort of zigzaggy bits going down it here, which really did come out as a nice machine. So I think, so as you know, I've been, you could say, out of the game really, but actually I've been having a break for it's pretty much a couple of years actually, just to kind of get my health back on track. I was doing quite a few bits of weights out here in the workshop. I had a big weights machine that was taking up a lot of the space out here, and that really did prevent me from getting to the lathe. Let me just clean this shit off my hands, and then I'm going to pick the phone up and show you a few bits out here. Okay, so this is my main workshop that I build in. Now, if you can appreciate, when I started about 16, 17 years ago, when I started making parts, I just had a little bit on the back of my garage, and you know, to make I think the very first machine I made took about 2 weeks. You know, I reverse engineered something and came up with a couple of different sort of designs. And anyway, so for the first year or so, every penny just went back into the business, if you like, and I put this workshop up, and that enabled me to sort of start making quite a lot more stuff. I had my own mill on site at that point, and the lathe, which is right here. Okay, there's my Warco lathe there. Love that. I've had it a long time. It has done me very proud. My coil cores are finished on that, and all the brass parts, like I'm just about to make some at the moment actually. So this is the rear spring thing. This is a bare bit of metal which I've cut off of this blank bar there, hex bar there. So that's going to be going to make a couple of those actually this evening. I'm going to make a couple of those. I could show you a video of me making it on the lathe, but yeah, I'll only bore you. Maybe I'll do that another time. So yeah, so there's my lathe and various tooling for it. It's in a, you know, there's lots of oil and bits on it, but it keeps it working. So there, if we spin it round a bit, you're going to see my first pillar drill in this workshop here, right? And then my sanding belt and wire wheel. Let's come around a bit further, and just a normal basic vise there. Come round again, and I've got the 8-inch grinding wheel. Is that 8-inch? Yeah, that's the 8-inch one. And then another pillar drill there, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, if I keep going round a little bit more, there's my brazing gun. I use oxygen and propane for heat, and now that's for silver solder and brazing or heating up frames if I'm dunking them in oil, stuff like that. There's my polishing set. Now, this used to be my welding bench. All my welding was done in here, all my frames, base plates and stuff like that. But I've moved that out into, I have another workshop now, and I have a specialist welding table in there, and I TIG weld as well now. So yeah, there's pretty much going to be some TIG welding going on any frames I do from now on, rather than MIG welding. Although MIG welding is probably just easier and quicker. That's why I used to actually do that. So let's walk down the workshop here. So believe it or not, that thing there, yes, it is a chip fat fryer, but it has a dog bowl in it with engine oil in it, and then normal vegetable oil below that. So the engine oil isn't directly heated in the chip fat fryer. It's just heated up, sort of secondary heat. But when I heat the frames to a certain temperature, and then I'll drop them, you know, when they get to a certain colour, and I do that in a normal domestic oven normally, and then finish it because it's easier than using and cheaper than using this gas, and then I dunk them in there to sort of seal it, and with the hot oil, then I put it out after a couple of minutes, let it cool off naturally, then I wipe them down, and then seal them with a thing called Renaissance wax, which the museums use for sealing their blades from people and stuff like that, from people touching them, so they don't get a lot of moisture on them. And if you can see this cupboard here, I can't open this door at the moment, there's something in the way on the floor, but there is 100 of these in this cupboard. This was a prototype, came over from a company called Polestar. That's very cool. Now that is my coil winding rig. It's just literally a brace and bit, and I over 800, 860 something sets of coils I've wound with that exact. Let me see if I can get in here. I've got a couple of bits of crap on the ground there at the moment. So basically, I just turn that like that. I've got a little bit of threaded bolt in there. I put the coil core on it. There's the coil wire on a spool. That comes off the spool, wraps around the coil. That's fine. I've got a lot of crap on this bench at the moment. There's my soldering station that's sent to me by Metcal. They're very good company, Metcal. Highly recommend them. Here's all my little things of every nut and bolt I'm ever going to need in mild steel, stainless steel, button head, cap head, and I've got them in M4 and 832, so number 8 American, which I keep stocks of because I used to do a lot of rebuilds of machines. And if you had American stuff coming in, I needed that. Although I did do quite a lot of rebuilds on Icon stuff, and I mostly converted them over to M4 on the brassware. Now here is my this is called a pantograph engraver. Okay, it's a bit of a junk horse at the moment. I use that for engraving frames and armature bars. And as you can see on the ceiling, various associated crap that I've bought from boot sales and stuff like that. It's something quite interesting for you that are into bikes. So this I bought way back, way back, mid-80s, late 80s actually, sorry, from Ultimate Performance Workshops in Ealing, Harley Davidson motorcycle builders. I've got, look at these stickers, the sticker bomb, how about that? I challenge you to have more stickers on your cabinet than me. And if you have, you win. It's as simple as that. Because there's hundreds on there. There's a lot of stickers from a lot of different shows from all over the country there. But let me tell you that I think on my ceiling of this workshop, on the ceiling, roof, whatever you like, I think the best bit of art I'm going to show you right now is that. It's a bit of airbrush work by, oh, there we go. Sorry, there's a wire in the way. Let's see if we can get any closer. There we go. That is from my good friend Matt Buckle up Manchester, Oldham, up that way somewhere. And used to sponsor him along with Jim Allen and Joe Maxim. I used to sponsor those three. They're all excellent artists. And I was up there getting tattooed by Matt, and I got that off him, and it's a fantastic piece of art. I should really have it in the house, but it's just better out here, to be totally honest. And that's see the Foxy there, so that's the North Lakes International Tattoo Convention 2016 Winners Award. I think they had a spare one and he donated it to me. Didn't really win anything, did I? That show's on at the moment actually this weekend as I do this as a Friday. So that's a fantastic show. Really is a great little show, local show. Get up there is all I can say. It's great, low entry costs. It's fantastic. I don't think there's anything else to show you out here. There's not much to show you out in the other workshop either, because it is just my welding bench. I'm gradually getting this tidied up as I make bits and need certain areas. Then I'll be tidying up as I go, you know, as I need that bit of space. But I have got I've got some frames. Let me dig some frames out, because I've got some frames left over from a while ago. There's one I did. That's still got the coils on it, that one. These are all completely original, my own designs on that. That one, that is quite heavy, that one. Oh, there's a nice one here. Look, Triumph. That's an original Triumph spanner, although I wouldn't swear that that's a Triumph motorcycle spanner. It's a Triumph car spanner, I think. Now, I did a couple of these. These are very cool. That's from a sprocket. Look at that. I might build that one up if somebody's interested. I did another sprocket one that's a lot heavier. This one. It's also, I did have that built up at one point. And what it was, that one, I love this machine. I've kept this for so long now. With some really high quality bronze. It looks like copper, but it is bronze parts on that. Yamaha motorcycle spanner frame. That one there. So, yeah, and oh yeah, I just want to show you one other thing. So, steel, you can polish mild steel. like that. See how reflective that is? That is not chrome plated. Look at the light bouncing off of that. How cool is that? It's got a bit of my engraving in it as well. Now that is me again in the reflection. Wow. That is actually not that difficult to do. The difficult bit is keeping it like that, right? So, yeah, I've highly polished. This is what I used to call a drilled Walker style, right? I'm not trying to rip anybody off and say it's a Walker or a Paul Rogers or any of that. And I do what I do. And there's one. There's another little polished one there. That was just literally a big washer with a piece cut out. There's a little lefty one there. Some of these have been sitting around a little while, these frames. So there's one that I probably needs a bit of a polish. There's a bit of surface rust on that. It's not actually rust, just surface sort of corrosion, if you like. But yeah, the tribal. I used to call that one the tribal shape. It's pretty cool. Well, you know what? I guess with anything, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I came up with designs. I used to come up with certain things and see how they worked. And some I only did 10 of, and others I did 50 of, you know, certain shape. But no two were ever the same. Some had different engravings, some had different coil covers, things like that. Now, I did a series of billet aluminium, aircraft aluminium frames at one point. We machined those down in Ryde, a town about 3 miles down the road, in a friend of mine's workshops, and he was better on a CNC than me. I was, you know, I'm not going to try and pull a wool over anybody's eyes that I programmed a CNC machine or anything like that. But what I did do is design the machine and spec it and all that sort of stuff. So my mate did the rest with the frames, and because the frames were that good, and I got the dimensions of it were you know, so I'm not going to say perfect, but they were so good for what I needed that I kept one. Now, I had a lot of them. I sold a few that just in plain aluminium. I had some hard anodised in black. I had some normal anodised in the red. There was orange and purple. Now, I'll tell you what, the orange ones, I think there was only 2 or 3 in that sort of burnt orange, but that was a really nice colour. Oh no, there was a couple of gold ones, gold anodised. And that's right, he told me that when he dropped it into the gold anodising 3 times, it came out the orange. And it was so nice. I wish I'd had more. In fact, I wish I had one of them for myself, even though I don't tattoo these days. It's something that I would like in the workshop. But I kept that. That's one of the purple ones. I think I had 6 purple ones anodised and sold 5. But I kept this one as a template for certain things. So yeah, I love this. I'm not going to build it. It weighs virtually nothing. One piece. Yeah, it's great piece of great piece of my history, if you like. Not and I do have, in fact, on the wall up here. Right. I'm a bit embarrassed about this, but back in 2008. I built this, and this was the first machine where I built every single part. So for some reason I kept it, don't know why. It's got really crappy little coils on it. I think they're only 6 wraps. I had a couple of ideas that I wanted to run through on it, and sort of built it to test the theory. The theory worked, but it just wasn't practical, so I gave up on the idea and moved along a bit. It was the way that I mounted the coils. So the coils were mounted. They had the metal yoke under the coils, obviously, and then that metal yoke was mounted onto plastic washers, rubberized plastic washers, to cut down on the vibration. And it did work. I proved that worked, but I didn't actually proceed with that, to be honest with you. mostly because it was a crap idea. But, you know, we all, as engineers, we learn from our mistakes. Let me put that back up on its hanger there. So we learn, well, I don't know about mistakes, but we learn from what we've made and carry on and modify and make things better from there. And machine number 2, actually, funny enough, there is a bit of a story around machine number 2, because there's a guy called Coil, and he has done a series of 3 volumes of books. There's 1,000 copies of each book called Handmade, and it's all about tattoo machines, but it's artists that have built tattoo machines. So none of my machines are in there because I'm not an artist. But, you know, people like, well, you know, you name it, they're in there. It's mostly kind of Americans. Well, it's people from actually around the world on there, in fact. And even the great Tim Hendricks, who I built a machine for. But I'm not going to name drop at all, but I did build a machine for Tim Hendricks. And anyway, so, yeah, so what happened was I met Carl Mark at the Brighton show when it was at the racecourse many years ago. And I happened to mention to him, I said, look, you know, I've got volumes 2 and volume 3 of your book. I can't get hold of volume 1. I don't suppose you've got one, have you? And he's like, yeah, I actually got 10 of them at my mum's place in Canada. So he said, give us your details and I'll, when I'm in Canada next, I'll ship one out to you. So anyway, you know, a few weeks or months or whatever went by and didn't get it. To be honest, I wasn't expecting it, if I'm honest with you. I just thought if he does send it, that'd be a result. But he lost my details. I got in touch with him. I can't remember the name of the studio he was working in. I think it was in Paris. I wish I could remember the name of it. Anyway, I sent him an email over to the studio and he got it, and he said, look, give me your details again. He said, I lost a bit of paper that you gave me at the show. So I gave him the details. Lo and behold, a couple of weeks later, this book turns up, volume 1 of, and he gave it me, you know, volume 1 of his handmade stuff book. It was a little paperback one. The other 2 volumes were hardback, but I couldn't get hold of this volume 1. I've since bought a couple more of them actually on eBay. I've got a couple of 3 full sets of the handmade books actually, and so I thought, well, you know, he sent me this, so I'd kept machines numbers 1 and 2, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to send him a machine. What do I send him, a modern one I've just made, or do I send him something with a bit of meaning behind it? So I actually sent him the second machine that I'd ever built, and I told him as much, you know, and he's kept it and stuff. I lost touch with the guy since. Would be nice to catch up with him again actually at some point. But yeah, so that's the story behind machine number 2 that I built in 19 1940 during the war. No, it was 2008, right? So there we go. Now, while I'm on the subject, right, while I'm on the subject of weird things, look at that. Oh. Comment below if you think it's a liner or a shader. What do you think? Not much tension now. I think it's more of a soft shader, maybe a bit of black and grey. I've got a couple more over here. I don't know if you're going to see these properly, but you could zoom into them maybe at some point. Those 2 and a big old fire bell, same thing. And there's another big one up there, look, and I actually have got some others. I've got one up in my office as well on the wall. That's kind of cool, and I've still got a box for it, like a little vintage box from the sort of early 60s or whatever. That is definitely, that doorbell there is definitely a soft shader. I think that I think that is a power liner. I'm going to be honest. Now, I actually, for a laugh, I made a doorbell. It was just a machine and a long armature bar with a bit on it that was banging onto a little brass bell that I bought. There was no power supply with it or anything like that. And I sold it actually, and I'm pretty sure I sold it to a guy at the Maidstone convention, the last one that I did, and I think I just sold it for 50 quid, you know. But it was kind of a cool. Maybe if you're watching this or you know who bought it, just comment below and say hello. I hope you've still got your doorbell. Maybe you even wired it up with a power pack and you've got it on your door. Who knows? Right, well, that's pretty much it. There we go. Look, I'm going to do a circular thing. Look, I'm standing still. The workshop's spinning around, man. It's twisting my melon, man. Right, that's it for now. Look, there's some of my metal stocks. Right, for side plates, armature bars and stuff. There's a lot more of the stuff around for coil cores. Got my brass down there. And actually, right, while we're on the subject, so in here, if I dig out this here, look, I've just grabbed a handful of side plates. Look, there's different designs. So there's loads of different designs. I've got at least probably 200 or 300 side plates of different designs that I've made. I can actually even custom cut. I have a plasma cutter on site as well, and that's in my other workshop, in a welding workshop. Has to be near the compressor because obviously the plasma cutter uses a lot of air. I have to say at this point that I do not and never will make a swastika shaped machine. I've turned down the opportunity to build that on many occasions. I just don't want my name associated with it. I don't care about the historic past, before whatever, peace symbols, this and all that crap. I'm just not putting my name to one, so that's fair enough. No point in rattling on about that too long. Oh, there's my piston collection down there. Look, there's some of my pistons. Let me show you these. Some of these are quite big actually. Let's have a look at that one. How big's that? Bigger than my bloody head. Look. And that's saying something. Right. I think I'm going to call it a day now. Otherwise, I'm just sort of repeating myself. But I'm going to show you one last thing out here. The Paul Rogers machine ID chart. See that? How cool is that? That's probably the coolest poster. But there's a very cool one, because that, a lot of meaning on that one, because that's from the Pompey Tattoo Show 2011. Tony Bennett and Stevie Willett's show, and a bloody good show it was as well. Yeah, proud to have known Stevie. Very sad that. And oh, there we go. That's it now. So I'm going to get on with making a couple of parts out here. I'm going to try and get a machine sort of finished over the next few days. I'm not rushing anymore. I'm not building for stock. I'm not really taking orders. Once a machine's built, I post it up. If somebody likes the look of it or wants it, then we'll talk. You know. I would think they're going to be the same price that I always charged, which was 150 quid. I never put my prices up. However, they used to include postage, but I will have to put postage on top now because of the sheer cost of everything. But I will keep the machine price at 150 quid. Right, so there we go. I've rattled on for half an hour. I can't believe I've done that. And if you've lasted this long in a video, thank you very much for watching. You take care, stay safe. Do me a favour, like and subscribe, share, whatever you've got to do. And take it easy. I'll see you on the next one.